New tonight, getting students to disconnect. That's the goal of several area school districts concerned with the effects phones are having on kids in school.
And with the amount of money the governor is planning to budget for this issue, it may actually happen. News 10 NBC's Marcia Augustin shares how educators are all getting behind how kids can keep their eyes forward in the classroom.
Governor Hochul has set aside more than $13 million for ways to store kids' phones during school. Her goal is to keep kids focused in class and to avoid mental health challenges that come along with social media addictions. RCSD's board president agrees and says it can also be a teachable moment.
I don't think they belong in instruction at all times. I think they definitely need to be limited in the classroom on some level, but there are also opportunities to leverage technology in the classroom.
Camille Simmons, the newly appointed president of the Rochester City School District Board, says the policy they have in place at high schools now is to collect students' phones when they come through the doors. It goes into a pouch and gets placed in cubbies. Governor Hochul has said that she wants schools to come up with their own policies that work for them. Brian Eberts is the Greece Teachers Association president. I caught up with him at the State Teachers Union conference where dozens of educators and experts came together to discuss solutions to having cell phones in classrooms. He says initial costs for GCSD to store kids' cell phones was roughly $150,000, and it's worth it.
Eliminating cell phone usage to a high extent in schools is kind of reduces the opportunity for bullying and some of those behaviors that kind of come in from outside.
So last year, the U.S. Surgeon General called on Congress to place warning labels on social media platforms, similar to tobacco-style warning labels found on cigarette boxes. The president of the State Teachers Union says it's a pressing concern.
He said, it's no longer a correlation. We have causal evidence that social media causes depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation, and in particular for young girls.
Let's face it, you know the saying, where there's a will, there's a way. Are there any strategies to, making sure that kids don't sort of sneak phones in?
With any new rule, there are people who are going to test the limits of those rules. I think it's important, though, that once a school district sets the tone, it really does change the whole culture of the building.
Schools following the policies are expected to get funding by September 1st. In downtown Rochester, Marcia Augustin, News 10, NBC.
The president of the State Teachers Union says some parents are concerned about getting in touch with their kids during school. She says schools are required to include a way for parents to reach their kids when they need to.